Hello and welcome to Brian's Got Game. I'm Brian, and today I've got a game called Team3. Team3 is a 3-to-6 player cooperative game by Matt Fantastic and Alex Cutler and is published by Brain Games. In this game, 3 players work together to build a pattern that is shown on a card using 3D blocks. The trick is only one person can see, only one person can speak, and only one person can hear. So the player who can see the card can't talk, and the player who's building can't see, and the player who has to talk has to interpret signals from the person who can't talk to direct the person who can't see. Sound crazy? Crazy fun! So let's check it out, and then I'll show you how to give good directions, how to build with your eyes closed, and discuss the mini expansions with the green and pink editions of Team 3. To set up, give each player a role. These will be fluid during the game, so it doesn't really matter who's who. Then you're going to give the card and its stand to the player who cannot speak. I'm going to put that there and keeps it hidden from all other players. Just for ease for this game, I'm going to not use the stand and just reveal that there. Then you're going to take the assorted pieces and place them in the center of the play area. You are now ready to begin. So first we're going to clarify some things up. This is the architect, and they can see the blueprint, which is basically what you're going to be building, but they cannot talk. So they have to give directions to tell them how to build it without speaking. The person who's going to be receiving these instructions is going to be the person who cannot hear. They are the supervisor, and they must interpret signals from the architect and tell the builder what to do, because they can talk. So this is the player who sees, this is the player who can talk, and this is the player who is building. So the player who's building has to build it with their eyes closed, so it gets kind of tough. So basically we would start with the first player. So they would start a timer for 3 minutes, or you could just start a stopwatch, that's just as good. And you start the timer, and then you begin. So they would give instructions. So start the timer. So they would give a signal. So you can set up your own signals, but this is going to be a T, and time is of the essence, so you must move quickly. So T, and then they say, all right, grab the T piece, and then the builder is going to be looking and find the T piece, and then I found the best way to go about this is to just have them place it, and then they tell them how to modify it. So let's say we put it like that, and then the player who can talk would say, all right, turn it. Turn it again. Turn it again. There you go, perfect. And then now the architect would give the next signal. And then the other player would be L. Your left hand, okay, got it. And then they would place it on. And then the builder would give instructions. Put it on the other side. And they'd say, rotate it. And then we're good. So then they'd show the next piece. And then they'd say X or cross. And they'd grab it, put it on. And then they just, this continues until you get all the pieces correctly placed. So they'd put that on, say, nope, rotate it. Move it to the right. Right one more. Done. And then you'd stop the stopwatch or the timer, and then you'd see how well you did. The goal is to get the building built in 3 minutes, but that's fairly easy for this difficulty. So after you complete that, then you can swap the roles, move them around, and then grab a new thing, give it to the new person who can't talk, and then play another round. It gets kind of tricky when they get bigger and you start knocking things over, but that's basically the game. Really simple, but a whole lot of fun. So this is the first difficulty. It has 1 asterisk. And then the next is 2 asterisks. We'll do it like this. So a whole lot tougher. And then imagine what the 3 is. 3s can use all the pieces. This one doesn't. It's missing 1 blue piece. But there are other crazy complicated ones in here. Those are all mounted on the side. But there's a whole bunch of those. Now the other thing is that we have these extra variant that's in the box. Depending on which color of game you get, this is the pink game, so it has this variant. But the green game has a different variant. This one shows you shows you that, and you have to build that building as if you were seeing it from one side. So, for example, you could build it. How would you do this? I don't know. You'd have to figure out a way to get a pink one there, a green one there, all visible from just one side. That's how to play Team 3. Okay, we got my dad here for a parent's opinion. So, Dad, what did you think of Team 3?
I had a blast playing Team 3. We first played this at a convention, right?
Yep.
And it was very late. And we had so much fun. It was surprisingly one of my favorite games that we played that entire day.
Probably pretty much the whole con. Like, this was one of, I don't know, it was probably midnight, maybe a little after that. And we had grabbed this game because it doesn't look like a game you need to read a whole lot of rules for. And we had a group of 4. So we'd take turns, and then the other guy would die laughing watching the other people doing it.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It's pretty awesome. So components are, you have a bunch of the little plastic pieces that you use to stack. I don't know how many there are, but they're in different colors and different shapes.
Yeah, they're kind of like Tetris pieces, but they're big. And I mean, they got some heft to them because when you're building blindfolded, it's nice that you're not knocking them over and stuff like that. So I think that they did a really good job with the production on those pieces.
Yeah, they did a great job on that. And then there's also the little plastic stand and the card that goes on there, and then all the different cards of the difficulties. And it is nice that they marked the different difficulties.
Yep. Yeah. And it's also a puzzle getting it back in the box.
Which is also fun at midnight. But, yeah, you can use that as a, all right, I'm going to bed, you guys can put it back. So there isn't a whole lot of artwork. There's the 3 monkeys on the cards and the game box.
And the monkeys are doing the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, type of thing. So that's kind of the whole point of the game. But yeah, they're on some of the cards, but I think on the cards it just has the logo Team 3 on it. So not a whole lot of artwork, but for this one I don't think you need it.
Yeah, I mean, a third of the players have their eyes closed.
That is true.
So strategy, sometimes it's kind of nice to kind of like establish what the pieces are called.
Definitely. Yeah. We found that it was a lot easier if the person making the signals and the person that was speaking kind of knew ahead of time, like, this is what our language is. And then it's also, for the person who's building, it's good to have some verbal cues like, yeah, I know, if you say over one, rotate, rotate, that type of thing.
Yeah. And then the Z piece is incredibly hard to put on. So establish that. And then also, I thought it was kind of cool, 2 different things. The first one is that each person kind of has an affinity for one specific role. So like usually someone's better at one role. And then it's fun to do that role and then also switch it up and get better at some of the others. And then the other thing was that it's good to, like we said, you establish what each piece is called, but also when the person's building, it's I found that the easiest way to continue was to have the person who's building immediately put it on, because it's hard to, as the builder, know where to put it, and then the person who's talking tell them where to go if they haven't done anything. Yeah. So just put it on and then tell them how to change it from there.
Yeah, we definitely, that's key, is if the person just, go ahead and put it on there and then you can adjust from there.
Yep.
Smart thinking.
Easy for kids, yeah. I mean...
Yeah, it says 14 and up. But I think what kind of drew me to this in the first place was, well, when it was a party game that I think Mom would play, and I asked her if she would play it before I bought it. But I think it is good for kids or younger, even in grade school age to middle school, to work on communication and teamwork, and then being able to, like Brian, you said, some people are a little bit better, at doing one of the skills. But then if you rotate those, then, they slowly get better and working together and working as in a team. And yeah, they may be able to just do the 1-star or the single difficulty ones. But still, it's a growing and a teaching tool that I think this game specifically does a really good job doing. And then on top of that, it's just a really fun game.
Yeah.
Especially at midnight.
And then it's fun to try to get each difficulty under the 3-minute timer.
Yeah, the 3-minute timer is crazy when you first start out and you haven't kind of established these rules and kind of your different I don't know, ways that you tend to play, or your commands and those types of things. 3 minutes seems impossible.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah, it's definitely not, because once you get better as a team and you guys are getting faster, you do every trick you can and communicate better, then we were able to get the hardest difficulty under 3 minutes almost every time.
Yep. So what's the difference between the pink box and the green box?
So they each have different mini variants in each one. So the pink one is that the person with the card, it's the exact same thing, but the card it only shows one side of the building, but they're not the normal pieces that you'd see. You have to be able to see that face.
So like if you were looking at the table and your eye was like, just
Even
above the
with it.
table, that's what you have to make it look like. So it doesn't matter what the back looks like.
Yeah, it's just one face that you have to build. But you have to build it 3D because sometimes you need just the edge of one particular piece and so on. So then it's a puzzle of trying to figure out what that would look like, but just by seeing one side.
Yeah, and then the green one,
There's two different buildings, so there's two different cards, and then I think it's just one card, but the person has to build something with each hand.
okay. Yeah, we opted to get the pink one. I think that one, we actually played the green one at the con, and I kind of liked the mini expansion of the pink one better, and that's why I ended up getting that one. But you can combine the two to have an epic game that plays up to 12 people. And there's different kind of variants you can do with team play.
And you can
sort of
go head to head, see who can finish it first or whatever. All kinds of things.
Yep.
So overall, I had a lot of fun with Team 3. You just want to keep playing it and getting in rounds, just keep going. Because there's no specific round thing. I guess on it says 30 minutes, but you could just play one round or you could play 40 rounds. It's just a lot of fun to just keep going.
Yeah, and this one's really, like I said, it's good. It's a good cooperative game, team building type of an experience, and it's just everybody ends up laughing, which is hard when you're the builder because then you knock the thing over.
And that's the annoying part is when you're trying to put it on and you knock it all off.
But this is a good one for party game, for a cooperative game, for people who like to get a lot of folks together and to just have a lot of fun. This one definitely is a good one.
Yep. So that's Team 3 by Brain Games. Thank you for watching Brian's Got Game. Please like us on our Facebook page. Send us a tweet at Brian's Got Game. Visit our webpage, briansgotgame.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Brian, and this is my dad, and I'll see you next time.